closer to a final figure?
Sure. My
Thank
initial
you.
offer is 90. What is your
Fair enough.
counter offer?
It stayed 30. Let's see if we can come in the middle somewhere.
At least he is able to hear the entire conversation from over there.
Well,
He doesn't care about fucking expungement.
No, he does care about it. He made it very clear to us he doesn't want the charge. That's why it offered the fucking suspended sentencing or whatever, and the judges got all pissy about it.
No, he just
Well, no,
cares
they-
about sticking it to you because you're pissing him off.
Yeah, that too.
He wants to kill you.
Yeah, he made that clear. I don't get what I did to piss him off. That's why I'm genuinely confused.
It's not just you. It's also he just never liked state attorneys or district attorneys.
He doesn't know you. You represent something he doesn't like or respect, and you tried to call him out for something he may have done with something he's never heard about before, the decombobulation thing.
I
also
think it's
would like
hilarious.
to point out that he's also very much not okay.
I will say I find it funny because when Forcer came to me and asked if I would be even willing to negotiate a plea deal for this sort of thing, I couldn't tell her yes or no because I wasn't even part of the case. But I said I always do what I can to make sure people are safe. And this was before I knew about the whole. This is before I knew about everything. But like, I don't want to just fuck people over. It's not my goal. If he was
Okay.
here, tell him Forcer trusts me. But I doubt that would change his mind too much.
I think it's less about you and more the position you hold, to be honest. Oh wait, so we're coming at him with 90 days parole, and what we need to make sure he's still thinking it's 7 years. So
Well, yeah, we haven't got to that point yet.
yeah,
We just listen. It's just gonna be 14 more, so just
We just got
90 days parole is not gonna go. So hopefully we get 60. If he
Yeah, I'm
counters
just
with
trying to bring him up a
45,
little
that's
bit.
fine. And then we just tell him what we want. 20 in, the lawyer will respond with, "That's crazy. You're out of your mind. We want 10 or 7 or something again."
Yeah,
And they'll say, "Okay, we'll meet you halfway. How about 14?" And if he agrees to it, great. We're done.
Yep. I just went with 90 because that's what Divine told me last time.
I mean, the only thing is even coming back with 20, we're giving him a deal for 3 years off.
Oh, yeah, okay, but like we're
Yep.
not actually going to do that.
Plus
but
more
the way it
parole.
works, the way this always
Yep.
works is you
We
back
are.
and forth it. Yeah. Senson's right. It's exactly how it works. It's you go too high, and then they're like, "Well, that's crazy," and then, like he said, they bring it up a little bit, and then you just keep going until they bring it up to the point where you actually.
There's a word for it, actually. It's called bartering negotiations.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes when people barter, if you go too out of the realm, they just shut down and
Listen,
say
I've
no.
already talked to Divine. We're talking to the lawyer. The guy got paid 300,000. We're really just making him feel worth it right now. Who cares?
Fair enough.
Yeah, the lawyer's not going to walk.
We don't
out
need
on
to do
you.
the entire
Yeah.
lawyer's argument for him before he's even over here.
all right, should I go get him?
All we need to do is stay at
No,
the table.
they're waiting. We're
Just
waiting.
let him
for
come back. It's fine. Hello?
What is happening?
Hey, Crane. Currently at the prison talking about something. Can I call you back in like 10 minutes? Or actually, I can talk right now. They're not over here. I just want to actually ask you about a few things that come up about DOJ. I want to ask you before I move in any direction about them.
Now we wait. What time did we go live today? We went live.
This position's gonna drive me insane. We'll get there.
We went live 12 hours.
Oh, by the way, Sanguine people want to kill me. I found that out last night.
Is there anyone they don't want to kill outside of themselves?
Pretty much anybody involved in anything they want dead.
Yeah, I. Mild shock.
What do
I
they
got
want?
Eastern Bloc as well. Want me dead.
Oh yeah.
Baba Yaga.
Is there anything like? Is there like an active plot to do so, or?
They tried to blow me up, but that wasn't Sanguine, so it's
Okay.
different. But from what I understand, this was the BBMC specifically for some reason.
Jesse Adler was the one who did the Norman Adams hit. I think Mandem was the one who did my hit.
Amanda hates me, so I imagine if they get a chance, they'll go.
It all
against
ties
me.
back to TJ Walker.
Yeah.
By the way, when it comes to the state attorney's office being bombed, I think Trevor Drainer and Brian Knight were there in the capacity of LSBN.
Brian is forwarding me a video of what he has.
Okay.
Also there's Mark of the Talon that he was able to capture that was there.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm meeting with some people tonight to further discuss on exactly if we believe they're back,
God,
and I went through
can't stay
old
awake.
reports.
I'm gonna try to be
No,
awake,
that's
but
fine.
we'll see.
You know, we'll
Yeah,
fill you
that's
in,
interesting.
Yeah.
That being,
Trying
Yeah, the
they've
ML
been
matches.
dormant for a while.
yeah, like what, a year plus?
Yeah, I went through some
Last
old
one I
reports
remember 7
earlier and
months
was
ago.
able to find a lot of similarities that I didn't originally see. But I mean, I'm just reading reports. I wasn't around for any of that stuff. Also, we have a detective that was part of Weasel News when all of that was happening, so was also very aware of it. So he's gonna. help
Who's
out.
that?
Stonefinger.
Oh yeah.
So he was around for that side of it. So it might be actually really helpful having him on board and his perspective of it.
It just feels, I don't know. It feels strange.
I have my theories, but I wanna.
Mhm,
I
so
don't
taking
know enough about the past to like really fully develop them.
No, I never had really any involvement with that. I mean, Copper made me aware of it at one point, but back when I was a detective, but beyond that.
Yeah, I don't know really. I think wasn't Talon's motive always like, I guess like was it anti-corruption? Was that their thing?
Yeah, from what I was
thought-
told, it was anti-corruption.
I literally
DOJ,
can't be corrupt.
It's
That's
not
what
even
I
that,
mean.
but I
Like,
think there's also some things we think it may link to Sanguine, not like doing things on their own behalf for Sanguine.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
Am I coming back? Are we good?
Yeah, you're
You
good.
should be good.
Oh, okay. All right. Should I sit?
It's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll stand for this one. What's going on?
Did you get a thing about the pleading guilty to treason?
Did you come up with an amount of days for a potential guilty plea for said for the plea agreement?
Yeah, we
was gonna
had
say,
given
just-
that. We
It's
did
90.
I'm
You're staying
confused.
at 90. You're staying at 90. You're not coming down from 90.
90 for parole.
Okay.
And if we're talking about, more in terms of additional years of incarceration, let's start with 18, to say.
Okay. So now we come up from 7 to 18.
We never
And-
agreed to 7. 7 was your offer.
All right.
We're telling you our counter offer. We never agreed to 7.
Okay. Mystical Facts, I gotta say, I'm not sure if it's maybe something that I'm not doing right, or if I've upset you in some way or something like that. But I'm sorry, but I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to wonder if this is a good faith conversation. So
Why wouldn't it be?
Because the last point that you and I had to discuss was the parole period. I came in at 30.
We never agreed to 7. I'm confused. Like, there's 3 other individuals here. Did we ever agree to 7?
I think we were waiting to see whether or not he was willing to even come to the table about the treason charge.
Guilty is on the table.
Okay.
We are requesting 7 and 30.
So our counter offer is 1890. We understand that's
Declined.
okay. What is your counter offer to that?
$7 and $45. 7 is a number that we have been discussing for at least our last, not only from our previous discussion and today. Fair enough. You've come up by more than double.
Can you recall what the previous discussion was? It was a thing if it were talking about sedition. We're not talking about sedition. That was a hypothetical conversation about possibilities. We are not... You understand the difference here, right? Unless I'm unclear. But...
well, I mean, obviously there's been a little miscommunication. So what we can do is... Are you willing at all to budge?
Correct. So we're talking about additional.
18.
Yes. That is the counter offer. 1890. And you've just said 745. Correct?
Yes.
1560.
Yeah, I'm staying at 7 for a long time here. So I want to stay at 745. That's a significant period of time for a guilty plea, and also the sealing of all evidence, the incendiary nature of the case, and all the other mitigating circumstances here. Let's try and
have access to said sealed evidence.
Yes, as apparently so did the public for an extended period of time, as you've just mentioned to me.
No, incorrect. They had access to...
You said it was unsealed until it was sealed. That's what you said to me.
The statement of charges was unsealed. So the way it works is we put down what says pending sealing. We can do that for evidence, and we can do that for witnesses. We cannot do that for the statement of charges. So the thing that you were talking about with him being involved with the start of the war, that was public knowledge because it was in the statement of charges. It has to be. So that was the part that was unsealed. The evidence itself was not. We never agreed to 7. We were understanding your offer. We're talking about treason here.
Yes, we are. We're talking about the manner of which the treason was purportedly achieved as well. So, I mean, there is significant circumstance around this case that incentivizes both parties, as you've mentioned, to remain out of court. So with that in mind...
Let me I want to make sure that we're very clear about something here, right? You're familiar with the timeline of this entire incident, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're aware that he was, you had mentioned it already, that he was undercover, correct? He had returned... That's what
was expressed to me, yes.
...to the mainland. Committed a crime, right? The attempted murder of Erwin Dundee.
Right.
He then handed in his badge, was no longer an officer. Do you know what he did after that? He returned to the island willingly.
Okay. Are you stating your case to me, ma'am?
That is when the treasonous activity started. So I don't believe I will agree, the unfortunate nature of how certain things were handled during his time as an officer, but that is not relevant to the charges accused here.
Similarly to that video not being relevant to the charges accused here. So I mean,
do you okay, Mr. DaCosta, you understand I have to give you that, correct? Because it is related to the charges that are being accused with the Toledo bombing. I have to give that to you.
Well, it's public knowledge.
I still have to make you aware of it, or I can get a Brady violation. You understand that, correct?
We at least have to verify that you have that knowledge and that you're...
Very well.
Because we can get
Why did you listen to Tessa but not Odessa?
Disclose that.
What's that
and
about?
Know about it, and it could either exonerate or convict.
It was
your
before the
client.
treason
Of course.
timeline. That's
But,
why I was
Mr.
making that
Lamb,
noise.
I'm sorry to say, to drag us back so far at the beginning, but that video was
alright.
used as a
It is the tone.
potential
Yeah.
reason as to why the discussion and nature of the discussion has changed today.
We have to make it aware because it's additional evidence. Of course, it's going to possibly change things.
You started this conversation with saying it was him through your unmodulation, so it was
Sure.
relevant to the discussion.
Sure. But that's
So,
not saying he was getting charged with additional charges.
I'm wondering now how much of your unmodulated video is weighing into your sentencing agreement.
So you're suggesting
because realistically, you might be using evidence that would be absolutely thrown out as leverage to increase
the
a plea
video
deal.
would be thrown out.
Well, the
Why would it be
unmodulated
thrown?
version. Well, it would be.
Why would
edited
it be
by
thrown
a-
out? It's an
by
investigative
the-
material.
Well, the original video, maybe, but you saying I unmodulated it, it's obviously him. That would never be. That would never
I
be.
disagree. That
Okay.
I have
So
had
I'm asking
plenty.
you: are you using that video as leverage to increase your plea deal today?
No, I'm considering the fact of the crimes that are committed and the fact that he's getting treason.
Right. I guess my request is to, amongst yourselves, considering the nature of our previous discussions and where we started today and where we've arrived at, I would like to hear something around 7 to 10 for in, considering he's been in here for 7. The nature of the case and a significant parole period with enhanced conditions that I've already agreed to. So,
And your client
please,
stated 90 last time. So what's changed there?
Ma'am, almost nothing has changed. I knew that the
Okay,
fucking
he's your senior
excuse me.
attorney, isn't he?
Ma'am, please take a minute, discuss amongst yourselves. I'll be back in 5, okay? Thank you.
Oop.
We never agreed to 7. I'm not letting him gaslight us into that.
I think he's frustrated.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll bring it up to 12.
We
12 is
just-
fine.
We just got to make it clear that we're still at the table. We're still willing to talk to him about it.
Are you guys fine with 7, or is that not enough?
I mean, they said 7 to 10. If we could get it down to 10.
I'm gonna
Doc's
try-
very happy
I'll
with
try to bring
7.
it down to
Yeah.
like 14. See if you can bring it up to 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, Mr. DaCosta, we're ready for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't hear what he said.
He's saying, "Give us a minute."
Did you
Got a
hear
few
the
more words
vibe?
than that for you.
Let me look at the legislation. real quick.
To be honest, the way Polly is saying it, I think they're just going to take it to court.
No, I'll get him.
I don't
just
think you know
need him.
Divine.
It's not Divine's choice at the end of the day. Polly's gonna try to convince him. He's already seemed to convince him about the treason thing. I think Divine knows where he's at right now.
I think Devon just wants out.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think they're calling it. Oh, maybe not.
All right.
Oh my God, Mr. Doc.
Just making sure it's.
Still works? All right.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at?
Press the wrong button.
1460. Thoughts?
I do have some. 12 and 30.
Now you go for 12 and 45.
1245.
I will agree to that in principle on the stipulation that any agreement executed and finally signed is done with the police department. As Mr. Devine has indicated, he will not be signing an agreement that is authored or issued by the state's attorney.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Devine will agree to that in principle and will sign off on all stipulations, including the agreed upon period of 13 years in. Excuse me, was that 12? It was 12 you mentioned just a second ago? 12:45, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 12:45. And that will be the additional communications, etc. The check-ins and whatnot. And the final stipulation is that he will accept the agreement and execute the agreement directly with Aurora or someone other representative of the police department, as he does not wish to continue to deal with the state's attorney.
That's not up to me then.
Okay. Just talk amongst yourselves, and I think we can get this done.
Again, not up to me, so it's up to them to make that decision right now.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'll let Tessa come back, and you guys will, I guess, come up to that agreement then.
I mean, I don't care, but the DOJ will care.
They will.
Yeah. But you can try. You might be able to get around it.
This is me more out of genuine curiosity. Why would the DOJ care if the state attorney's office didn't exist before, like, 3 or 4 months ago?
It's because I'm the lead representative on it. I would have to withdraw, and I can't withdraw without an attorney. You know what? I can tell you why Divine doesn't like me. He's mad because I couldn't win the fucking Bass Court case. That's exactly why. He brought it up the last time. But we literally did everything, and it's not our fault that bombs don't leave fucking residue.
Yeah.
Prosecuted with everything we had in that one.
What are we thinking?
Did the attorney let you know what was on the table?
12:45, and then Odessa not writing it, I guess.
Yeah.
He wants me to withdraw. I can't
Yeah.
withdraw. I literally can't. I'm like not allowed to withdraw because of the attorney guidelines.
Well, I mean, he didn't ask you to withdraw. He asked that the agreement not have anything to do with the state. It'd be agreement between the PD and himself, not the state attorney's office and himself. I don't know whether that means you have to, withdraw from the case completely.
Yeah, let me ask Polly here. Okay, just to follow up with you regarding that, do I need to withdraw, or is it just simply that I do not authorize or I don't author the...
Essentially, he will accept and complete the agreement with members of the police department.
Okay, so do you need me to withdraw? That is the question that's on the table right now.
Let me confirm that specific language. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
We should have just said fucking yes, man.
If that's the case, it'll probably be... It might be a few more days until I can get another attorney.
I think that's the thing. He doesn't want another attorney. He wants no
Yeah, well,
state
it's
attorney.
unfortunate because I literally am not allowed to leave a case. All right, what's the stipulation?
His answer is both. But if there's some
Okay,
other
so I'll put it this way.
Okay.
It's going to take another few days then, because you know the attorney guidelines. I cannot leave without another attorney taking my place. So we're going to have to find another attorney.
Okay.
Does it count for...
Hold on. Who's the charging authority? Just the state,
It'd be
right?
the
So I believe
DOJ.
the police could also reasonably present as they've done from time to time and accept?
Yes,
a
but
plea
I
offer?
cannot withdraw and leave an officer alone on the case.
Okay.
That is that has been something that's been stipulated to me by Crane. So I need to either call Crane and ask permission for that, or I need to get another lawyer, because that is just it's a really specific stipulation that I cannot get around. I'm not allowed to leave an officer by themselves on the case.
Paulie,
Like, they could just handle it and I just leave right now and still technically be on the case, but I cannot withdraw without another officer.
I am going to.
Could you just
Hold
go
on.
listen, if I may, just speak to Divine. Listen, I know it might not mean much, but he has a word that the state attorneys would not be involved in the signing or creating of any plea agreements. It will just go straight through Aurora. That's it.
Mr. Doc, I am acting on behalf of my client, and I am willing to accept, for the nature of this agreement to be executed as soon as possible, that stipulation. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, we don't need to get into any complex withdrawals or anything like that.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. I think we know the reasoning, and we know the motivation behind things here. Let's just keep it short and sweet. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I'm here to make a deal, sir. Unfortunately, these negotiations can be tense. I anticipated that. But here we all are. So thank you for your patience in these matters. I'm not sure if everything else is good to go, but I'm going to go back and say 12 and 45. We did not agree to a fine amount. So, Aurora, where are we at on that? Real quick.
A fine amount?
Yeah.
Give us just a couple minutes to discuss that.
Okay, fair enough. And the other thing, the last consideration is essentially we are in agreement on the checkups and the check-ins and all that other stuff as well that we discussed previously. So it is guilty to all, 1245, stipulations agreed to on the check-ins, determining final fine amount. Mr. Divine will have to give him a second, or you guys can give us.
No, we can go. Yeah, that's right.
All right, thanks.
I don't care. You guys can be part of it.
All right. Well, they're going to discuss final figure on fine.
Yeah, they're fine. That's right.
I'm going to take this call real quick. 1 sec. Paulie DaCosta.
What was the initial fine? that
1
we're
million.
asking?
He's not going to care about the money. I'll say it now.
No,
No, not at all.
So I think we just is Paulie going to negotiate? I don't know.
I think he's gonna try. He's not gonna just say yes.
You guys just want to go in with 1 million and see where you land?
I mean, I think in a good faith way for a plea deal, we have to at least go down a little bit less than the original ask. So maybe like 750,000.
Okay.
He's gonna come back with 250. We settle probably on $500,000.
250. Oh my god. So low.
And yeah, and the treasonist didn't get fined at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Into that.
They had
But
absolutely
why?
no fine and no parole.
That's what
That's
we get
what
from
the
the
DOJ
due
decided.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's yeah.
So Divine is paying for all the sanguinians.
Well, and that's why like the fine, he doesn't need the money. It's not going to affect him in any way. It's more like, I feel like a stick it to him type of thing.
Yeah,
Would've been wonders on the budget.
Going with the intro of $1 million and go down to 500. I think, we're not.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say for a plea, go for 750. Say we're lowering it because it's a deal.
Oh
and then
yeah.
250, settle on 5.
All right. Yeah, I'll leave it with you.
All right. All right. What do you think about 750,000?
You can negotiate on my behalf.
Can we do it for 5?
How about 6?
550?
Deal.
Deal.
It's so when you think about it,
Okay.
it's so fucking gross.
It is probably going to take just a little bit to write everything up, and then can come back
Sure.
and get everything signed.
Sure. When you say a little while, you mean hours, days, minutes?
I can work on it now as soon as I get back to the office.
Okay, so let's try and reconvene maybe in a couple of hours if we're lucky, or maybe tomorrow.
We can probably do a couple hours. Get it all
Okay.
signed and dotted today.
All right.
And I don't think we all need to be present for that.
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
I'll be around, but
Mr.
Just to be
Doc?
clear, she said she doesn't think we ought to be around for that, and you just said yes, we do.
well,
Counselor?
I mean, obviously.
Oh, sorry. I
Divine and
thought
do,
you
but-
said. I thought you asked me if. Did you ask? No, I didn't realize the question. I thought you said we all need to be here
Oh,
for that.
No, sorry.
If
Okay.
we're making an agreement verbally,
Oh no. Yeah, you guys don't need. You do not all need to. As long as the agreement is approved by your side and the DOJ or judges, whoever you get it authorized by, or if it's just high command authorization, great. If you guys are all giving you a say so, and I can deal with just Aurora, then
I feel
I'm
so
happy with
bad
that.
for
So
these
pretty much what
DOC.
happens, we'll get it signed by both of us. It has to be submitted to the judges for final approval.
Oh, okay.
yeah, something that might have been kind of a surprise, but just to clear that up, the judges still can shoot this down, even if both sides
Yeah,
agree. They can deem
I
it
know.
too low
Yep.
and terminate it.
Absolutely, it is a risk.
That's
Why
fine.
the suspension
At
period was
that point,
kinda-
at that point, if that happens, then it's fine. I'll go to court. It's forcing the hand to go to court at that point anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just done deal.
Good.
All right, we'll head out. Start working on that.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time today. If you have any, I'll just leave my business card here for you guys.
I'm okay,
You
thanks.
need to reach me for anything, Mr. Svensson. If you just want to call, talk anytime, just call me up, all right? I know you're a
No,
big
I'm
chatter.
good.
Big,
Oh.
oh, no.
Make sure you get as
Okay.
much gold painting in as possible. Don't wanna
I
interrupt you.
absolutely will. That's actually I might go straight there from here. It's actually very peaceful. You should try it.
All right. You guys take care.
Take care.
All right.
See you on the next one.
Yes, leave those three to stew. Ay. What's your opinion on this case, Aurora? Knowing
I think
everything
it's an
about
impossible situation
Yeah.
and a no-win for anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've hated every second of it.
Listen, if it means anything, I think you and the rest of everybody are doing a fantastic job, given the situation.
Appreciate that. Just feel like
Excuse
no
me.
matter what, there's no right answer.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I've been a cop 4 years. There's never been a situation like this. Never been this difficult. There's no... I've never heard of a situation like this that I know is going to keep me up tonight. That I just know already.
I don't remember the last time I've slept dealing with all of this. Just trying to handle it the best I can, no matter what.
All right. Take it easy. Yeah, I'll do the reading right after this. Have you sent it to me somewhere, Maria? Send it and I'll get it ready. We haven't done tarot card reading yet. We've been honestly since restart we've been busy. And it was restart when I think we hit it. So I was gonna do it with Matt at first, but then he went off at restart. So it's kind of been crazy since then. No, there's nobody around for tarot right now, which is a bit annoying. Maybe we can get an online tarot reading. Why do the PD want a plea deal with Divine? I don't want to talk for the rest of the PD. You want to lift, sir?
Yeah, I just parked up on the left.
Okay.
I was just telling Tessa, I got the crane.
Yeah.
There's like, according to him, there's a 0% chance that they don't get charged for the prison stuff. So don't worry about that.
Okay.
Sounds like just a conversation that was too early to really be judged. And of course, someone's always going to bring up the fact that people don't get charged for stuff in jail. So is it going to happen? No. Did someone have to bring it up? Probably. He also talked about the unofficial town hall and said that Grayson hosted it as a private citizen, and there's not much to be done about that. But I don't know. Seems like he's on top of stuff. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right.
You speak to the mayor? What did the mayor say about anything?
I haven't managed to actually speak to her yet because if I came here instead. But I'll catch up with her, see if I can chat to her.
I think Lovesick said he might. He's having trouble catching up with her with the bills. I mean, from what it sounds like, according to Eve, that the mayor's office has like 400 to 600 million. So there should be no way they don't accept a $12 million bill or 14 or whatever. It's necessary stuff. We can't have Russian MiGs flying around our airspace.
Yeah, true. I'll catch up with the mayor about it. Was it true what you were saying that we've had issues with the mayor giving us that money?
I mean, it wouldn't have come up in our high command talks if not, right? It would have just been handled.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, I'm sure it'll get solved one way or another. These things usually do. It just takes a little bit of talking.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened with Divine? It sounded pretty heated at the end.
I was on the phone for most of it, but I think he just got annoyed about the special prosecutor and wanted her out.
Yeah.
Divine's always been a guy that doesn't... Well, he has a special appreciation for power moves, but only when he's making them. And Odessa coming in and saying, look, we know it's you, we unmodulated your voice, probably set him off like that was a power move to him, whether she meant it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
anyway,
stubborn ass. So.
I'll let Stubble and Libby know what kind of happened today, and if you have anything to add, feel free. Let the mayor or whatever. All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you, man.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Maybe you didn't do a card reading every day for people to see this? Cute. Alright, let's read this fanfic. What are you poking at? Oh my god. History? Are you kidding me? Another big 100 bomb from history. I thought you were gone. I thought you weren't here anymore. Yeah, I muted alerts for that situation, so I don't want to replay them because it adds the time by accident. History, you're insane. Thank you again. I genuinely thought you weren't here anymore. I thought you'd gone. I appreciate you. Thank you, History. You're pretty crazy. That was interesting with Divine, huh? It was a nice little chat we had with him, which I don't know whether other people would have had with him. All right, where's this tarot? Not tarot. Oh, here we go. It's 10 pages. You want me to read 10 pages? The font's big. Right. Where should we do it? Okay. Nope. Someone gonna come speak to us? No. All right, here we go. I'll just read it. Right. There's a short TLDR at the top. Do I read this first? I'm just gonna read this. I'm gonna read it in the order that I've been given it. Okay. This is a. I'm assuming a Richard Dark fanfic. So we'll see. Reading fanfic in the Comwagon, just as the founding fathers intended. True. All right, I need some like story time music. Disney story time. Okay, maybe that's not what I was looking for. Yeah, these are really not what I'm looking for. This is not the kind of music I was looking for. Give me some like this. Sure. This works. Oh, Bond music would be on theme. Yeah, I guess you're right. All right, short TLDR. Okay, I did not want... Nope. Sorry. Here we go. Here we go. This is better. Straight ripped from Cars 2. Okay. The Simone brothers run an organization within Los Angeles known as Cerberus. Hey! They fund products within the city and ensure that the city is running at an acceptable standard. They're revered amongst the citizens of the city as good men who put the needs of the city before themselves. This music, they can't do a single thing wrong in the public eye. Sorry, the music. Okay, none of this is good music. I'm sorry. We'll go back to the classics. Here we go. Though, beneath the surface, their work takes a far darker turn. Their true work begins with human experimentation to create the perfect assassin. The agent who refuses no order, the agent who knows no boundaries, aside from the ones that the brothers set for him to follow. They've created a serum which enhances the body and the mind. They've undergone years of trial and error in order to find their perfect agent. And they found that man in Matt Rhodes. Ow. Matt underwent 5 years of programming in order to become the perfect agent for Cerberus. He forgot his own name, his age, his husband, his life. With the playing of an auditory trigger, Matt Rhodes lost all semblance of self and simply became an agent, an assassin, a soldier who followed every order and nothing more. Richard snapped him out of it when they finally came face to face. Am I supposed to be reading this? Is this a spoiler? Am I good? I'm supposed to be reading it, or is it a spoiler? Oh, so I know what's going on. I see. Okay. Richard snapped him out of it when they finally came face to face again after 5 years of Richard believing that his husband was missing or even perhaps dead. And Matt stared down the barrel of a gun whilst begging his husband to take him home, to keep him safe, to not let them get him back. And Richard plans to keep him safe from them and anyone else who would ever dream of hurting him. He plans to never let the Simones get their hands on his husband ever again, though at some point, all plans have to fail. Okay, here we go. W. Yeah, I know what that means. Cerberus Business Center was tall, just like Espinosa had said. He couldn't even begin to guess how many floors the skyscraper held. Close to 100 at least. Every window in sight was smooth and dark, sitting perfectly in their frames, protecting it from the prying eyes of the outside. Banners hung around the concrete edges of the bottom floors, adverts for sports teams, the latest fad diet, an invitation to the casino. Richard cared little for them. Towering high above him, etched into the safety of the windows, the angry red logo of Cerberus, the three-headed hound. To anyone else, it was merely appropriate branding for the center. To Richard, he knew the symbolism, the proud display of the Simone's greatest achievement, the Cerberus project, of Matt or Espinosa, of Ziggy. Matt Espinosa and Ziggy were in the fucking Cerberus project? Who the hell would choose Ziggy as a pinnacle of... Never mind. Cerberus stood tall at the front entrance, forever condemned in his metallic form, a massive structure that made a bold statement to all those who dared step onto the grounds. He was terrifyingly savage in his form, captured in onyx stone and giving glowing red eyes, complete with sharp teeth shown with an ever-present snarl. Truly a being befit of guarding the underworld. Richard does not fear the Guardian. Once he would have, were he not motivated by grief, anger, desperation to find his son and his husband. It felt easy to march his son? Please don't tell me that's Ziggy. It felt easy to march right past the structure and through the gates of the underworld. Hell was empty. Massive empty floor space of dark greys accented with red. A reception desk holding the CBC logo. Scatterings of red armchairs and black glass coffee tables, framed like plants and decorated with magazines. Completely devoid of souls, except for Richard Dark and Cody Sharp. What the fuck? Cody breathed next to him. Where is everybody? He had no idea. This was suspicious, but they can't be second-guessing themselves now. He walks over towards the elevators on the far adjacent side, at the bottom of the metallic staircase. Their footsteps echo loudly and their reflections stare back at them from the other side of the floor. He presses the elevator call button, and immediately the doors part to reveal a black, empty box. Neither of them move to get inside. This is too easy, Cody observes. Richard silently agrees as he steps inside. No time for cold feet. Come on, son, he gently coaxes, and Cody hesitantly steps in after him. He observed the buttons inside. There's more than 100 floors, as he thought. Michael will be at the top, he thinks out loud. Cody hums in disagreement. I think he'll be at the very bottom, actually. Richard frowns. Like a basement? There's no buttons for that. There's no BG or even a -1 on them. Cody steps forward, stretching out and pressing the buttons 0, 1, and closes the doors. After a moment, the elevator shudders and they feel the downward force. Richard raises his eyebrow, impressed. Cody shrugs. Saw it in a movie once. When the elevator comes to a stop, with a shudder and a groan of metal, completed with the telltale ding somewhere else above them, the doors part and reveal to them a long, straight, white-tiled corridor. White fluorescent lights guide them all the way to the door at the end. Several other doors occupy the walls at either end. Richard swallows back nerves, suddenly feeling all the courage he had begin to leave him. His mind supplies that this is where everything happened. This is the place where Ziggy was brought to suffer. Who cares? This is where Espos was brought to be saved. This is where Matt was brought to forget him. Tremor sees his hands. She takes the gun from his belt, clicks the safety off, and starts moving. Their footsteps bounce softly off the quiet tiles. Hold on. There are 5 doors, including the one at the end of the corridor. As they pass each door, they read the plaques bolted onto them. 001, 002, 003, security, and labs. Cody's eyes light up slightly at the promise of security. Richard saves himself from the begging by pushing the door, letting it swing open, and putting his gun inside. Nothing. Empty of life, just like upstairs. Only populated by a jungle of monitors attached to a massive terminal. A CCTV hub, Richard recognizes. Holy shit, Cody breathes. I want to play with this. We're not here to fucking play, Cody. Now look, He gestures widely to the monitors. They all depict different rooms, angles, and positions throughout the basement. I can have a look through all of these and see where everyone could be. It'll take a hot minute, but I can be your eagle eye. The look Cody is giving him, shit, he's determined. He wants to do this to prove he can be useful, most likely. He wasn't a stranger to feeling hopeless in moments where every decision was held hostage by the clock. Richard sighs. You have your gun? Yes. You lock the door when I leave? Yes. You contact me immediately if anything... Dad, Cody puts his hands to stop him talking. I'll be fine, promise. He clenches his jaw. He hopes so. He reaches out and briefly touches Cody's shoulder, squeezing lightly. Matt would kill him if he knew he was letting Cody stay here, but this is their son's domain. He has the rest of the floor to clear. The laboratory is a whole other ball ache. He opened the door slowly and it presented him yet more corridors. Excuse me, hold on. Ones that split off into different directions. Left, right, forward again, left, right, all with doors holding plaques like the previous corridor. God damn it, this was going to take forever to clear. He didn't have time for this. He walked slowly, accompanied by his own footsteps, down the corridors, reading each door until he found something that even vaguely hinted as to where Matt or Flop could be. Most were not labelled. The ones that were uninteresting, clearly not where the Simones would hole up his family. This labyrinth of hallways, oh my god, I can't read that, never seemed to end. He'd been searching for a good 5 minutes by now, still hadn't seen any evidence that hinted towards this place being occupied. His path eventually took into a new area. The doors were different, 4 of them, 2 on each side, made of reinforced steel, allowing nothing but a small square window and a letterbox. They reminded him of prison cell doors. As Richard edged closer to the first two, he read the plaques and his stomach curled. 389, 250. The gun rattled slightly as his hands shook. He stepped closer to the next two. 320, operating theatre. He wanted...
Got another report about you.
Honey, thank you for something glitch. I appreciate you.
You're suspended.
Honey Cubs gifted a tier 1 sub to Glaziliz. This is their first
Glaziliz
sub in the channel.
You're good, honey, don't worry. He wanted to vomit. He wanted to turn around and grab Cody and flee. Coward, his mind shouted, like always. He reached out to the handle of the door of 320, so achingly slowly, afraid he was going to bite his hand. The handle was bitterly cold. He wrenched the handle upwards and pulled. The door was heavy and the metal groaned. He pointed his gun inside. He's met with Michael Simone, sitting back in a metal chair. Leg crossed over his other, hands clasped on the metal table in front of him. He grins wickedly. Hello, Doc. His voice settles something unpleasant in Richard. His mind screams, danger, danger, danger. Michael gestures to the empty chair opposite him. It's time we had a talk. L? There's the letter L in brackets. Don't know what that means. This is exactly what Michael wanted. He looks at Richard, maintains a smile as he watches fear practically coat the other man's expression. He can imagine his thoughts, trying to find his husband, trying to find his son, trying to fight the world with his own 2 hands. Oh, it's the authors? Oh, okay, so this is Liz, and the other one was Wolfie. Okay. Trying to fight the world with his own 2 hands without ever realizing, yeah, it's a fight he's never gonna win. If Michael squints and tilts his head at an odd angle, it almost appears to be honorable. He's walked through the jaws of hell. He's walked directly into Michael's domain without a single thing to back him up. The fact that he's still pointing the gun is laughable. It's almost insulting that he thinks a handgun is enough to threaten somebody who's made the perfect human, who is the perfect human in the palm of his hand, especially when that perfect human is married to Richard. Threatening the hand that keeps someone you love alive is never a good idea. Michael knows this. Where is he? Michael shrugs, smiles. He's home, Dark. Rhodes is right where it belongs. He doesn't miss the flash of anger that runs across Dark's features. God, this is fun. Michael draws a breath and then he continues. But we need to talk, man to man. Employer to employee. He cracks his knuckles. I've seen your files, Dark, and they're not as impressive as Rhodes's are. Even before I perfected him, he was light years ahead of where you are. So indulge me. How does a man like that fall in love with a man like you? I want to know where my husband is, Simone. Richard doesn't move from the doorway, doesn't lower his gun. Psychological warfare is only fun if they actually play along. Oh well, he'll just have to try harder to get a kick before the real show begins. You'll see him soon enough. We're just finishing some things up, Michael hums. As he glances behind Richard and his eyes dance over the door that leads to the operating theatre, the last thing that any of us want is a rogue assassin running around the place without something to rein him in. That does it. That really does it. Michael watches Dark's expression shift rapidly. He watches him scan the room as though Rhodes is about to jump out at him from the shadows. As good as that would have been, the serum really did need topping up, and Nick insisted on doing it himself to allow Michael the satisfaction of watching the world burn from his obsidian throne. Michael would have preferred to do it himself. He always loved working on Rhodes, loved watching his creation come to life, loved standing in the same spot as the thousands of others have had, and been able to be the only person to prove that creating the perfect human soldier was possible. But he has to admit this is equally as satisfying. What do you mean? You aren't in any position to ask me questions, Dark. He gestures again to the seat opposite. Now, if you really want to see your husband again, you'll sit down and you'll listen to what I have to say. Or you can stay here, stay there, keep pointing that excuse of a gun at me, and we'll just have to, I don't know, see what happens to Rhodes when he wakes up. Your choice. Okay, now we're back to W. Against every single thing, every single protesting nerve in his body, Richard sits down. Put the gun on the table, Michael says sternly, still smiling. Richard sets his jaw and slowly obeys. Michael leans back in the chair, sighing contentedly as he crosses his arms. The metal creaks slightly in response. Richard fucking hates this. He absolutely despises the way Michael is sitting back, relaxing, making it seem like he's won, feeling like he knows Richard can't do a single fucking thing about this. Eventually, Michael chuckles. Don't look so grim, Doc. I'm not going to do anything to you unless you give me a reason to. Honestly, Richard doesn't know what to say. Well, he does. He has a million things he wants to say. But every word and every sentence is twisting into something completely incoherent. And he doesn't trust himself to speak without giving in to the urge to pick his gun back up and shoot him. Hold on. Here we go. When Michael sighs again, this time bordering exasperation, he sits up, puts his clasped hands on the table. Fine, I'll answer one question from you, Doc. Let's get this conversation flowing. Where's Matt? Immediately jumps to his mind, but he stops himself. Logically, he knows Matt is in the room behind him. The thought makes the anger board. He takes a breath. Why did you start Project Cerberus? With a completely neutral expression, Michael answers, because we were bored. Because they were bored. You, he begins, curls his fist where it rests on his leg to stop himself from an outburst of regret. You ruined mine and Matt's life because you were bored? Yes, well, that's how it was in the beginning. He sits back in the chair again, tilting his head, looking fond as he recalls the memory. I was getting tired of the monotonous daily workings of watching over the agencies. Nick was getting antsy because he had no projects to work on. Everything was either on hold, failing, or ran out of money. So he started to play around with experiments on blood, cell alteration, and all that. Stuff that I don't know too much about. That's a lie, Richard thinks to himself. Around that same time, you and Rhodes are forming quite the rivalry in your secret little careers, Michael smirks. We were keeping an eye on you both. Always had been, I mean. A married couple working for two opposing agencies? That's bound for trouble. But it was fun watching you both unknowingly attempt to kill each other. What the hell? We always hoped one would succeed. Richard shifts in his seat, suddenly feeling disgusted. They've been watching them the entire time, for years. And then Rhodes had to go and unmask you. Michael tilts his head, snaps his jaw shut in a way that hints at irritation. You find out who you were, and oh, that simply wouldn't do. Our best agent compromised? Richard remembers the day, cornered, multiple broken ribs, skin stained red with blood that wasn't completely his own. He remembers the gun between his eyes and the mask being ripped off. Remembers how fucking terrified he was when he sees that split-second opportunity where his rival, when Matt throws to decide